hour. We'll talk about job opportunities and ways for our members to get plugged into what Workforce Dallas is doing. So that's the agenda, high level. We will have time for Q&A at the end. You can plug your questions into the Q&A or into the chat, or later on, feel free to come off of mute. But again, high level, we'll talk about what's going on with the national organization, the local chapter here, and then go into our discussion about Workforce Dallas. So this is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. National Black MBA is part of that history. So we have been around since 1970. We are celebrating our 55th year. So if you see on the slides, it's representing 55th. We started in Chicago. That was our original headquarters. Headquarters is now in Atlanta. We have 34 local chapters across the entire country, primarily on the East Coast and kind of Midwest area, but some of our largest chapters are here in Texas, including us, of course, DFW, and then we have a big chapter over in San Francisco, as well as we got Seattle and LA as well. So been around for a long time. We have always been one of the advocates for advancing Black professionals in corporate America. And so long before George Floyd and companies were making commitments to DEI, we've been doing the work, and we will continue to do that work no matter what happens. As long as we are around, we are committed to advancing Black professionals, not now just in corporate America, but in their entrepreneurial endeavors as well. So what does our membership look like? Because we have a mix of members and non-members on this call today. So our membership is primarily MBAs, or people who are pursuing MBAs, but you do not have to have an MBA to be in our organization. Our membership really starts at high school, and we run a program, which you'll hear a little bit more about in a little bit here, called our Leaders of Tomorrow. But if you look over on the right-hand side, our membership is heavily concentrated on those professionals who may just be completing their MBAs or their graduate degrees and starting off in their careers. So kind of early career professionals, if you will, and then it starts to dwindle down the older our members get. But we do have members at every level from high school all the way through retiree. We are an inclusive organization, so we are National Black MBA. About 85% of our members identify as Black, but we're open to any and all who believe in the mission and want to support Black professionals. This year, or really last year, I should say, but they rolled it out this year, the national organization worked on refining our mission and our vision. And so it's still essentially what it's always been. We are focused on advancing representation for our community in corporate America. And there's ways that we do that. And we'll talk about some of the programming that we do here locally. But one of the big programs that the National does is our national conference and Career Expo, which this year is in Texas. It'll be in Houston, and that's really what the transform, is about. That's the theme of the year. So a year of big change, a lot of stuff going on at National. So like them revising the mission and our vision, they've also rolled out a new strategy or their key objectives for the next 5 years. and they have also redefined our pillars or the areas that we focus on from a programming perspective. So what are those key objectives? We This is a cycle, if you will. So everything is intended to be related. But of course, we are focused on creating a sustainable, durable organization that is growing. We've been around a long time. Some organizations come and go, but we intend to be here. Again, no matter what is going on, whoever's in office, what policies are made, what decisions corporations try to make, we know that we still have a mission to help advance Black people in corporate America or in their own businesses or in higher education. The next part here is creating a life cycle value proposition for our key stakeholders. So in the previous slide, I talked about how our membership tends to kind of dwindle off the older and older you get. So a lot of people still see our organization as an organization just for MBAs. And some people come and they participate and they get their jobs at the career fair or they get kind of some of that professional development early on, and then they don't see the benefit of really continuing that membership. And so the national organization recognizes that's a challenge because we want to make sure that not only are we providing those members um, benefit as they continue to grow in their lives and their professional careers, but they can provide a lot of value to our younger members through mentorship, sponsorship, and a lot of them do actually want to give back, but they're not just going to pay membership dues just because. So national organization, excuse me, is focused on that. They recognize it's a problem. And I think something happened to my slide here. Just a second. Next thing is to evaluate our strategic alternatives. And so they being our national board, our national office, they're looking at um, other organizations who are similar to us, other groups who have missions that are aligned with ours, and they're evaluating those organizations and maybe looking for opportunities for us to partner, looking for ways for us to continue to build our growth, and then to ultimately tell our story better because we have made a lot of contributions to the United States, honestly. We've had a lot of high-powered people come through our organization as members or present to our members, and a lot of the work that we have done has not been told to the level that it could be. There was a documentary that was released last year that kind of tells a lot of the history of our organization, but there is still a ton of work to do for people to better understand who the National Black MBA is and that we are not just a group of MBA students. The next thing here is I mentioned our pillars or the channels that we focus on as we are putting together our programs. And so we'll get to some of the feedback that we got from our members in our survey last year and the things that you want. And we have to marry that together with the things that we are expected and honestly required to do to fulfill the mission and vision of this organization. So, of course, one of our key pillars, main pillar, if you will, is education. That's how we started by a few MBA students back in 1970 who were just really seeking community because they felt isolated as they were going and pursuing their MBA degrees. That will always be part of our mission, our vision, and what we focus on. We also because they were in their MBA programs because they were trying to develop in their careers. They wanted to get to a higher level, and they were being told, again, this right after the civil rights movement, they were being told that they needed to go back and get advanced degrees, even though they were reporting to people who only had high school diplomas. So they went back, they got their degrees, and so career and kind of that development will always be part of our mission. The next thing is wealth. The reason a lot of people are going to get advanced degrees and want to grow in their careers is obviously to make money, but making money is not equal to understanding how to build wealth. And so we are focused on really helping our members to understand how to build generational wealth. The next thing is policy, which is fairly new this year. It's kind of been something that we have talked about for many years, and we have had some events where we've gone to the White House and we've gone to Congress, and we kind of had a lot of conversations, but we were not really as consistently focused on policy as we maybe should have been, could have been, because regardless of, again, of whoever is in the White House or in any government capacity, we are affected by policy at a nonprofit level. We're affected by the decisions they make regarding education, around workforce, just everything. We're affected by, and so we need to be stronger advocates for the things that really would benefit our members. And so you'll see a lot more about policy coming out. And then the last one, we've kind of always had a light focus on wellness, and it was primarily on the physical wellness, but this is more holistic now. We're looking at your financial health, your physical health, your mental health, all the things that make us who we are. And the next thing we'll do is we'll go back and we'll talk about the conference, and we'll be kind of winding out what's going on at the national level. So again, our conference for this year, the theme of it is Transform. It will be in Houston, and it's at the end of September, so September 23rd through 27th. We are looking forward to a great year. Certainly the Texas companies and universities, they're excited because it's kind of down the street for a lot of them. So um, it's easier to get to. A lot of people have a good time in Houston. Our last conference there was in 2019, and people just really enjoy conference in Houston. So be looking for information to come out about registration and of course, who the speakers and entertainers will be. And we're just excited to have conference here in Houston this year. So Texas will be representing. All right. So again, that kind of rounds out the national organization, and then we're going to shift over to our local chapter. And right now we're presenting the key objectives or kind of our strategy for the past 3 years, which are really aligned with what National has rolled out. And that's our responsibility to always make sure that we are aligned with our national organization. So for the past 3 years, I will say, we have been focused on these three things, and they kind of build on one another. But how this started is that we in 2022 had some conversations, and we were really focused on making sure that we provided value to our members. And one of the measures or acronyms that gets associated with value is ROI. And so we kind of flipped that and came up with these three things. And so in that first year, 2023, we were still focused on building connections with our members, with our partners, and the broader community. Because if you think about it, there were a couple of years where we were kind of out of commission, out of touch, and we were still doing things. And but we were not connected in person as much because of COVID. But in 2022, we were one of the first chapters in the country to get back to in-person events. And so 2023, we focused on reestablishing those relationships or making new connections. And that was to set us up for greater opportunities last year. So opportunities with our corporate partners, opportunities within the community, and just building again on those relationships. This year we are focused on, okay, we made those connections, we've established some new relationships, we prepared some opportunities or created opportunities for our members. Now what? What does it mean? And so we're focused on impact this year, seeing the benefit of some of the work that we've been focused on for the past couple of years, and then impact in what's going on here in Texas, what's going on nationally. How do we make sure that we have our voices in the room for decisions that are being made about us and that affect us? We want to make sure that we are part of the conversation and people are not just doing things for us. So that's what this year will continue to be about. That's largely what again, the policy pillar from the national is focused on, and also what the theme of the year for national is, making that big transformation. So I know there's Q&A and stuff at the end, but before we move on and start going into more of our chapter presentations, I'm going to pause, see if there are any questions either in the chat or if you want to come off mute. Yeah, my board, if you can tell me if you see anything in the chat.
Nothing yet.
Okay.
It was good to hear that Byron got his internship at the 2004 conference in Houston.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Congrats, Byron. Yeah, there's a lot of great stories about people getting internships or career opportunities at our conferences. And we'll be talking about some of the programs and stuff that we are going to be doing this year to help people prepare if you are going to conference, or even if you're not, just help you to prepare to get some of these jobs out here. All right, so we will go ahead then and share our team. So we have our VP of Operations, Joe Dessa, our VP of Administration, Dr. Wright. We have also in our executive leadership team, we have Idosa as our VP of Finance, Jamila as our VP of Records, and Stephanie as the VP of Marketing. And then for our directors, we have Corey, who is our strategy director. And then we have two membership focuses. So we have just our standard membership, which falls under Michelle here. And then Turquoise is really tasked with focusing on the Fort Worth area. So they do a lot of kind of collaboration and working together. But we have a specific mission to build more awareness of our organization in Fort Worth. And we have a specific membership chair or director for that purpose. We have Latoya who you'll hear from our community relations director, and you just heard Daryl chiming in. He leads our Leaders of Tomorrow program. And then we have Tyler over our student affairs. So that's our board. We do have some board openings, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. And this is also a great opportunity to start just getting plugged in on committees, even if you don't want to serve as a leader. We always need help. We could do a lot more. We worked on our strategy, and we have a lot that we put together for the kind of the next level and the next years of the chapter. And some of our board members are like, okay, who gonna help with this? Our members, we need your help. And we'll talk about that some more later on. But continuing with our members, I mentioned earlier that we did a survey last year and we collected some feedback. And these are just some of the things that our members said they wanted. And we are committed to trying to do everything that we can to fulfill what our members want, as well as what our national organization requires us to do. So members said that they wanted more kind of training on effective networking. And this is important because a lot of people feel like they make connections, but they don't really see any benefit from it, or nothing really happens. And some of it is that we don't necessarily understand how to network as well as we could. Professional development, again, it's a focus of the organization. It was kind of good to see that is what people still want from us. And so you'll see a lot more programming, not just for corporate professionals, but also for entrepreneurs. Next thing is social connections. We want to have fun. Everybody want to, like to go to a good mixer. We'll do some other social kinds of activities this year where people can just relax and not be focused on work all the time. And then one of the big things that people are always asking about is career opportunities. They want to get plugged in with our corporate partners, or they're just looking for jobs. And that's part of why we have Workforce Dallas as a partner, and they'll be joining us later on today to talk about some of the things that they can offer. All right, so let's get past this. As I say, your voice matters. So this year is a major year, not just for the national organization, but for our chapter locally as well. This is an election year for us, and I know some people are sick of elections after last November, but we need people to vote. We need people to vote all the time, and not just in major elections at federal levels, but your state, your local, or even here, your chapter level. It's important who is leading this chapter, who's on the executive board, and you will have the opportunity to elect your next president and all of the officers coming up here. We're going to open up nominations in June. But before we get to that, we are going to present to you some bylaws amendments, and you'll have the opportunity to vote on those as well. Last year, we worked with an attorney to kind of update our bylaws, add in some, they were lacking in some areas in terms of the descriptions of all of the roles on the board. We had some of the legalese, if you will, added in for the Texas nonprofit corporation laws that we have to follow. And then we just modernize some of the language or remove some of the restrictions. Like, it's 2025. You should be able to vote electronically or attend virtual meetings. We don't have to always be in person. So those are the kinds of things that have been updated in the bylaws. But again, our members will have the opportunity to vote on those. And we'll talk more about that in our April general body meeting. So I'm going to now transition over to our committee directors, and they will go through some of their main initiatives for the year. And so we do have two of our marketing directors, our membership directors on the call. I'm not sure who is presenting for membership.
I will. And if
Okay.
you guys can hear me okay, can you put a thumbs up?
We can hear you.
Good. So thank you so much. I understand that, it's kind of really hard to be engaged on a Zoom call. And I know it's it's extremely hard to be engaged on the call that is after working hour. But I want to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Michelle Zambo. I'm the membership director of the National Black MBA Dallas chapter. My co-director is Turquoise. I'm not sure if she's in there today, but if you see me, you see her. If you see her, you see me pretty much. And we have 3 initiatives that we are going to go by this year. And these pretty much follow the objective that we have, that the entire organization has for the remaining of the year. One of the objectives is grow. Of course, we want to grow our number, but we want to also have a great pool of member, ranging from high school to all the way to executive, just to making sure that each of us, or each of the member gets something out of it. And we want to kind of cater our programs, our event based on that pool of member. Next, we have retention. We want to grow, but we also want to maintain the number that we have throughout the year. And our goal is to making sure that we provide a great membership experience. So that way you guys can get a return on the membership that you pay for to be part of this organization. Lastly, engagement. We all understand the time that we're going through right now. So we want to foster a really strong sense of community and also have you guys involved in all the event that we're doing, and also have your voice, because none of this will happen unless you guys are saying something. So if you guys want more professional development, like the service stated, that's the guide that we're going to take in order to provide you those events that you guys are asking for. So I'm asking you all to really be engaged, because you're paying to be here. You're paying for these. So we want to making sure that you get something out of that. Membership is going to have the committee meeting tomorrow. An email was sent out 2 weeks ago. So if you guys are interested to really get the details on all of these initiatives, feel free to let me know, and I'll be sending you a calendar invite for that. And I'm just double checking the time. It's either going to be 6:30 p.m., right about the same time now, where we're going to kind of really expand on all the initiatives that we have for this year. And if you have also any questions, feel free to drop on the chat, and I'd be more than happy to assist you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Okay, next we're going to talk about our programming committee and the initiatives we have there. So, Jodessa.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Judessa. I'm the operations VP of the chapter. So right now we do have an open position for programming director. So if you are interested in the role of programming director, it should be the same form that you fill out to join a committee, except it'll ask you, are you interested in taking up a leadership position? And then we will contact you to get more information about that. We have three, I guess, initiative priorities for the year. The first one is hybrid options to make sure that we have both in-person and virtual events for you all. I know that it can be difficult to find the time and energy to go to in-person events all the time, and it can be draining to constantly have virtual events. So we are still trying to find that happy balance between the two. The other one is corporate partner inclusion. So we do try to make relationships with businesses, organizations in the DFW area, and some of our partners, such as Toyota, Texas Capital, Brinker International, we want to make sure that we are bringing them into not just specific events that we have with them, such as our corporate partner spotlights, but into our regular programming that we will have throughout the year. So whether we're having a resume workshop or just a networking opportunity, we want to make sure that we're inviting our partners and encouraging members to interact with them, to give you that opportunity to learn about roles and to network with partners and with people who could possibly get you hired. The third thing is member-driven programs. So we are definitely taking the surveys that you receive, the LinkedIn posts where you're asked, what do you feel about the certain types of events, post-event surveys and things like that. We're really trying to capture more KPIs and to hear your voice on what you want to see us do, and to lead with that for the year. So those are our initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Jadessa. Next up, we have Latoya, our Community Relations Director.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Latoya Benson, and I am the Community Relations Director. And so, yeah, so our kind of top 3 priorities for 2025. One, co-hosted events. And, you know, I love what Demetria shared with your member survey feedback, because it very much aligns to our vision for the team this year and what we would like to do with the chapter. And so co-hosting events. So that's all about, you know, cultivating the partnerships that we have with other Black professional organizations, particularly in the DFW chapter, in the DFW area, rather. So we do have some upcoming plans to collaborate with the Alliance of Black Accountants, for instance, as well as Built, with Black Tech, and other organizations. So we want to bring to you mixers and panels, and it's just a great opportunity for us to partner with other organizations that are aligned with our goals, but just for another specific area. And it's a great opportunity for intentional networking, which I know was mentioned earlier about effective networking. So stay tuned to the newsletter. We will be having an event specifically focused on that coming through. And so secondly, oh, there's some poll pop-up, sorry. Secondly, community service opportunities. So if you haven't checked your emails recently, we do have an upcoming community service opportunity to volunteer with Junior Achievement, one of my favorite organizations. I've been volunteering with them for over 20 years. We are in need of speakers for a career day. So that's on Friday, March 28th. So we want to be able to present opportunities where you all have the opportunity to give back, as well as connect with others. And so that's one that we have for the spring. We plan on other ones throughout the year, specifically around the holidays, holiday drive, also opportunities to, you know, partner with other organizations, both benefiting children, benefiting women. We've done some things with Dress for Success last year. So we just want to continue those opportunities to allow you to connect with others in other chapters. In the chapter, and volunteer. Like Demetria said, not wanting to talk about work. It's a time for all of us to give back. And then thirdly, policy advocacy. So, civic engagement, economic empowerment, that is something that is, a strategic focus for the organization, as well as given these times, very important. I myself work in the DEI, field. I know a couple of others do, like Daryl Atwater is one of my teammates. So, this year is very important for us to stay connected to how policies are going to impact us. So we do plan to do some things with the, DFW NAACP board, around voting. Voter turnout was not what it needed to be in the Black community for this last election. And so how do we get ahead of that? How we as members can be a part of that? We actually have some members on our committee who are actually volunteer deputy registrars. And so they even want to educate about that aspect, how you can actually get involved being a poll worker, but also understand how things like DEI policy changes that these corporations are taking are going to impact us. So we do look forward to having panels and discussions around those areas as well too. Not just things on the national level, but right here locally to Dallas, as well too. It's important for us to be engaged locally as well as nationally. So my email is communityrelations@dfwblackmbas.org. I will put it in the chat as well. As we mentioned, anyone that's interested in supporting us, whether that's, when we have an event, we always need help, hands on deck with helping with registration or navigating things, or sharing, opportunities that of for us to, partner with others, community service. We have some things proposed for the 2025 program calendar, but definitely still have room available to fill that in. So I look forward to connecting with more of you all, and a lot of you all I have met and connected with so far in the last 6 months. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Latoya.
Mm-hmm.
So you heard a little bit from our Leaders of Tomorrow director earlier, but we're going to actually have one of the advisors from LOT present for LOT. So Leanna, you are up. Where'd she go?
You're on mute still.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yep.
That's how I be at work, y'all. So sorry.
All
right, so my name is Leanna Gray. Good evening, everyone. As Demetria stated, I'm one of the advisors for LOT. LOT is our Leaders of Tomorrow program and is dedicated to developing our next generation of leaders, our high school students. And we particularly focus on leadership, financial literacy, college preparation, career preparation, and life skills. So we try to do that within a 9-month time span. So we're halfway through our year. So now we're in our spring season, and I'm just going to go over some things we have coming up. So this Saturday, I'm super excited. We're going to tour the Juanita Craft House. So our leaders will be able to explore, I guess that's where she used to live, and just obtain some history of what she used to do here in Dallas. I know she did something regarding desegregation and Black empowerment. So I'm excited to learn more, and so are our students. And then we have in March, we're going to do our annual etiquette lunch. That's always my favorite. So we're going to do that again for the 3rd year in a row. And then we have our financial literacy and career expo. This is open to all DFW high school students. So if you know of any high school students who would be interested, please reach out to me or Daryl Atwater, and we would love to have your high school student. And then in May, we close out our session by doing a senior celebration where we just have a party and celebrate our seniors. And I don't know, it's very sad because some of them are with us since freshman year of high school. So to see them go, it's always heartbreaking. And they also provide a leadership project in the end as well. And then in June, we do a National Leadership Summit, which is similar to what we do as adults. So how we have our conference, they have their own conference where they're around other high school students from all over the world. So it's very cool to see them network and learn those skills very early. And to add on to that, we're actually looking for anyone who has experience with software presentation for the business case competition. We would love if someone has experience in PowerPoint, Canva, Prezi. So if you know anyone or if you are someone who have that experience, please reach out to us. We would love to have you so that we can win the business case competition this year. And to continue, we are also looking for LOT advisors. Like I said, we have over 30 kids, 30 students. So we need all the help we can get. We're going to take about 20 kids to the Juanita Craft House and the farmers market. And, like, just imagine. So if you are available to come out and help, we meet not every Saturday, once a month on a Saturday at SMU. So it's not a big commitment, but it is, you got to have 4 hours. It's about 4 hours of your time. And then we meet outside of that as advisors just to get to know each other and collaborate and plan sessions and have a good time. So if you're interested in becoming an LOT advisor, please reach out to me or Daryl Atwaters. We would, again, love to have you. If you have any experience in speaking to students, we would love to have you because I like to bring in guest speakers just to talk about the topics that I listed before. So if you have that experience, please let me know so I can get you in front of our kids if you can provide your expertise to them. And that's my time. Daryl, did I leave out anything?
Oh, you nailed it. I sure appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we in the house. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Leanna. Okay, so next we're going to talk about, we just went through some of the stuff that we do. So we do professional development, and Jodessa went through some of the kind of programming initiatives that we have this year, LaToya as well. You just heard from Leanna about Leaders of Tomorrow, but we award scholarships every year. I know we have some members on our Student Affairs Committee on the meeting today, and we'll be doing scholarships again this year. We do a lot of different events. So again, some of the stuff that LaToya is talking about, and even membership, where we can just kick back and relax and not be so focused on business all the time. We'll be doing that this year. And the business development piece is really around what we're doing for our entrepreneurs. And we have some good partnerships that we're working on from that aspect. We had a great program last year for entrepreneurs, and we'll continue to pour into that segment of our membership as well. And we are doing all of those things with money that we're getting from just a few sources. So the big portion of money that we get is from partnerships, and we're talking specifically our corporate partnerships. And honestly, a lot of the money comes from the DEI line item, which is under attack. And so we have stronger relationships with some partners. I can say that we have talked to some additional partners who are looking to potentially do some things with us. And then we are always focused on how do we make sure that, they're not just donating money to us, but we provide value back to them. And so we'll continue to do that. And we don't expect that that money will dry up. It just will look different. The next big bucket that we get is we get a portion of the membership dues. So when members join National Black MBA, you actually join the National Association. They manage all of the membership. And then, a quarter after you have been a member, they will give a portion of those membership dues to your associated chapter. And I say that associated chapter because that's really important, because you can join as a member at large. If you do, you never show up on our roster here locally. So one, you wouldn't be necessarily included in our members only communications. You might be on our general kind of email distribution list, but we do send some things out sometimes just to members. So make sure when you join the DFW chapter, or select us. And the other part of that is that's how they determine where your rebate will go. If you don't pick us, then our national organization just keeps the money for themselves. Next part is fundraising. So we do a variety of fundraising either through our programs that we host, and we try to, for our members, always do things that are free, or our members at least have some kind of discount. But we sometimes we got to charge for stuff. We do other kinds of fundraisers as well. We get grants, and we have then people donate money to us, which is the next bucket there. So we get a portion of donations from like corporate giving, and we appreciate all of that. All of that helps us to run the organization, and just a broad number. It takes about $100,000 to $125,000 a year to operate the way that we have been operating. If we make more money, we can do more stuff. And so we are, again, looking for people to join our organization as members, to promote what we're doing, if you have any leads on companies that are looking to partner potentially with us, send them our way. We're happy to talk to anyone and see if there's a match. Not every corporate partner is a good fit for us, and we're honest about that. If they are looking for a certain level of talent, or a certain maybe industry they're focused on, if we don't have that in our membership base, we're not just going to take their money, because it needs to be mutually beneficial. We talked about membership, and so if you are not a member, you're interested in joining, you want to renew, you can click on that QR code. It'll take you again to the national site where you can join. And these are our 4 membership tiers and the prices for those. So on an annual basis, we don't have payment plans anymore, monthly payments. Our high school students pay $25 a year, undergrads $50, grad students are $99, and professionals, entrepreneurs, it's $200. The other ways that you can contribute. So even if you don't join, well, let me flip over. If you do join, you need to be a member to be on our committees. And so if you want to join a committee, I saw in the chat, there's a lot of our board members sharing their email addresses and connecting, which is great. You can also scan this QR code here and go out to the forum, indicate which committee or committees you're interested in. And I did see there was a question of kind of what happens after you complete the form. We review it, we validate that you are a member, again, on our roster, and then the director gets notified, and they should reach out to you. The next way you can really help us is to engage on social media. And I cannot really articulate how important this is. Even if you are not a member, you can help us out with this by liking our post, making a comment, sharing a post. That just helps to expand our reach. It helps to attract more members, more potential partners. So please engage in our social media. But I will point out that for our members, we also have a private members only LinkedIn group. And that's another way to try to build community for you to connect more with our actual chapter members. And then we also share things in that group that we don't necessarily share otherwise. So sometimes there are job opportunities, and we can't necessarily promote those through our newsletter or our social media because it's part of what our corporate partners pay for, but we can share that within our group. We share sometimes invites to different events, and we get invites to advanced screenings of movies, and those are the kinds of things that we share just in our members only group on LinkedIn. So if you are not aware of the group, if you haven't joined, encourage you to go out and join that group if you are a member, because yes, we do check and validate you are a member before we approve you in that group. Next thing here is just to be an ambassador. If you are not a member, or even if you are, we appreciate you sharing just what you think about the organization, how you, even if it's not always the most positive information, every piece of feedback helps us, it helps us to increase awareness. It helps us to improve our programs. And so, just talk about us. Again, share our posts, let people know you are affiliated with the organization if you're a member, and we certainly appreciate that. And then, of course, you can always contribute. You can donate directly to the chapter. This QR code here is specifically for our program with Kroger. So if you shop at Kroger, they do community rewards. They'll give us a portion of our members' money that they spend on grocery shopping, and it's not a huge dollar amount, but it's nice to get a little bit of something back, and it's kind of, you don't have to spend anything extra or give anything extra personally. You just need to connect us to your Kroger card, and they'll take care of sending the money to us. So I am going to pause there again and see if there are any questions for me or for anybody on the board.
Don't be shy. Feel free
Right,
to
y'all quiet.
mute yourself.
Hi, I have a
Feel
question.
free. Yeah.
You all mentioned the LinkedIn group. Can you all share the link to that, or how do we join that?
Yep, somebody can somebody share that link, or I can in a minute go out and get it. We do share the link so every new member, you should get an email from me. And yes, it does come directly from me. I send every one of them. And there's a link to it in there. But yeah, we'll get the link put in the chat here for you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. So next thing we have on the agenda, one of the things that we get asked about, me, I'm sure a lot of my board as well, is job opportunities. They always want to know how they can get a job. We have a lot of people who are in their MBA programs right now, or people who are in career transitions, and they just want to know, how do they get jobs? And so we are very proud that we were able to become a nonprofit partner of Workforce Dallas. And we are honored tonight that we have the executive director of that program. So I was able to connect with him a couple of years back. And, he's been doing some amazing things. Black man working for our mayor here in Dallas, who another Black man, and they had a vision to really make sure that they were providing resources for people who were looking for jobs. And there's some other workforce development programs out there, but they're doing some things that are just really different. So wanted to have Michael come on tonight and kind of talk about what they have to offer, what they do, and how you can get more plugged into their resources. And so, Michael, brother, I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, Demetrius. I wouldn't be anywhere else, man. Very excited to be here. I can't believe you had this picture. I look about 10 years younger on this picture, so I appreciate it.
Right. So if you could just kind of talk about how Workforce Dallas got started. Like I mentioned, there's some other workforce development programs, but why did our mayor decide to start this program?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll jump right in. I love to talk, especially about trajectory change in employment and the great things Workforce Dallas is doing. Please let me know if I have any time constraints, because I want to keep everyone here all night. But yeah, so I'll dive straight in. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Thompson, the Executive Director of Workforce Dallas. A little bit about me before I dive into Workforce Dallas and the many resources that we have for you all. I'm born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. And as Demetrius know, I love to talk. But that's the big thing about what we do for Workforce Dallas. We're definitely people focused. Anything that we do is catered to you all, every single thing. So what's special about Workforce Dallas? Just like I said, Workforce Dallas is created by Mayor Eric Johnson, and Workforce is our Let Me Be. So we saw a real issue in our city when it comes to careers, especially coming off the pandemic. And our big thing is we want to make trajectory change in employment, top upscale opportunities, and hands-on people focused to workforce development. A lot of times, people just, feel like they just want to walk into one of the other services that we have and just get a job. And with us, we want to make sure that we provide everything for you all. So let's focus on those key points that I made earlier. So let's talk about upscale. What exactly is that? So upscale opportunities is when, say, someone in a household, they're working 2 and 3 jobs. And for us, we want to make sure that we give them that upscale opportunity where they can be home with their kids or be home with their family, or if they're working on a special project, being an entrepreneur, we want to give them that opportunity to work with our over 300 employer partners in the city of Dallas, where they can learn on-the-job training. They can be in one of our certifications or our trainings, where many of them are 6 to 9 weeks. Where also these top employers, a lot of times people don't know that education has to be there, and that's what we provide as well. They have many resources where they will help and support you in your drive to be an entrepreneur while you're working with these companies. So that's a big thing, the upscale aspect. And then the trajectory changing. So all of our employer partners have the same mindset of us. So we have a cultural training with our employer partners where they come in every 6 weeks, and only people that make decisions. So HR managers, hiring managers, recruiting managers, they come into our office and we sit at a round table and we discuss the people that we serve, so they can have an idea of, hey, anything that you're going to do for us hiring, you need to know these things. You need to know how to cater to them, how to build them as a great employee, and how to serve them and what they're looking for. So those are the 2 main things that we look for. And of course, hands-on and people focused. When we started off, we went straight after nonprofits because they already have the trust of the community. So we build relationships with 4 Oak Cliff, the Jubilee Center, top nonprofits like that, as well as churches. So we went in, we knocked on doors to really build that relationship. That was 2 years ago. A lot of people think, you know, we've been around 15 years. We really haven't. The success that we've had came from really hard work, knocking on doors, having meetings at these nonprofits with the community, and just learning what they want and what they need. Because again, people think workforce development is just about the careers, and truly that is just the beginning. Again, we partner with great nonprofits, with great organizations like you all, because we feel the people in the community and the people that's on the streets doing the work, that's who we need to partner with. So again, that's why we've had so much success. Currently, we have over 300 employer partners in all different industries. We have over 50 nonprofit and training partnerships where we can provide the training and the certifications needed to prevail and do great with our top organizations and top companies. So that's where we are now in under two years. We've placed over 2,000 people in employment. And again, trajectory changing top upscale opportunities in employment in just 2 years. And in 2025, we're really focusing on the training and the certification aspect. So if you or you know anyone that's really searching for a career, now is the time. The media pushes out a lot of different narratives, but that's a big reason why I want to come on here today, because I'm so thankful for Demetrius and our partnership, because it's so many great people in your organization that has special tools that top employers are looking for. So I won't just talk at you. If you have any questions, please let me know before I go on. I would love to answer them.
Again,
Michael, I appreciate another Memphian. I'm from Memphis too, so I sure appreciate it. Thank you so much for representing.
Okay, what part of Memphis you from?
You know, North Memphis. Oh yeah. What about you?
I'm from the Raleigh area, so south,
okay.
North Memphis as well.
Okay, all right. We didn't mean to turn this into a personal thing. I'm sorry, Demetrius.
Nah, no problem.
I knew you was gonna do that. I see Star in the chat. She gave Memphis love too.
Perfect. So I'll continue, Demetrius. So let's talk about.
There's a question in the chat.
Okay. All right.
So Aaron is asking if we have someone that can benefit, how they can get started.
Yes, so perfect. So I'll dive straight into that. And we'll come back to our goals and our pillars. So let's talk about the Workforce Dallas process. So currently we have, and I know probably you guys have seen this all around social media and everything, we have something called hiring mixers. So a lot of people, I've been in this probably 15 years, and the job fair, career fair title, that's out the door. We try to move to hiring mixers now, because if you hear job fair, it brings trauma. It really does, because if you think about what a job fair is, a lot of people are going through hardship right now, and they go to a job fair just walking around in a circle with other people, truly trying to find something that they have no idea what it is. They have no information about who they're going to talk to, but they're supposed to talk to this person that really holds the key to everything they're looking for in life. So with our hiring mixers, it's catered to you all, to the job seeker. So one, we have a one-on-one conversation with you all in the process. We learn about what you want to do. We learn about what you've done in the past, and you sit with our resume training professionals to really cater your resume to who's going to be at the hiring mixer. So when you arrive at the hiring mixer, the employer already knows who you are. So we already have given them that information. They already know, your experience and everything. But two, it's an industry based. So in the industry that you're looking for, those are the industries that's going to be at the hiring mixer. And then also only people that make decisions will be there for these employers. So hiring professionals, HR directors, sometimes CEO of companies. These are the people that you're going to talk to. So if you're at the hiring mixer, that's one way to get involved and get direct conversation with employers. But two is that you go to workforcedallas.org and you just scroll all the way down to the bottom. We have a small questionnaire, probably around 5 questions. As soon as you finish that, excuse me, it's also an opportunity for you to upload your resume. Once we get that information, our navigators have 24 hours to contact you back. And we plan it in 24 hours on purpose because, as you guys know, someone might get in your ear and tell you, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing it right now? There's no jobs out there. We want to eliminate that altogether. We want to make sure we get with you in under 24 hours. That first conversation that my navigators have with you all, and it might be me because, I mean, with our relationship now, I want to make sure you guys get the #1 resource. So it might be me on that call, but that conversation, that first conversation is just to learn more about you. We talk nothing about employment. It's to know, who's at home with you. Do you have a family? What are you looking for going forward? All the personal questions so we can get to know you. Because again, we feel that success is from knowing you all. It's not just about giving you a job. It's about learning the benefits that you need to be successful in your career. We can get anybody a job. That's not our goal. Our goal is to build success, and that's the way to do it. So that's the whole process of Workforce Dallas. Once we have that conversation with you, we give it 2 days to bring you in to our office after that first conversation, and then we lay out organizations of what they're looking for. How does it really go with your skill set? And then really we try to get people hired. We say a month, but that's just a time frame we give. We've had people in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, really start with top organizations. So that's the process from first meeting you to coming into the office to being hired.
Thank you so much for that, Michael. So I'm assuming this applies for people who are both employed and unemployed, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. So right now, the percentages are all-time high for underemployed. The employment rate has gone down a lot. So I see more people that's underemployed, but yes, anyone. So we cater to individuals 24, we say to until we push that number 24 until because we know right now so many people want to get into the workforce, but they just don't know where to get the resources from, and that's us, Workforce Dallas.
I'll ask. So there's a lot of reports saying Dallas is the Wall Street of the South. But what kind of trends are you seeing? What kind of jobs are coming now in, within like the next 5 years?
Yes, great question. So Dallas is moving in an all-time high, quick and fast. Many top companies, they're moving their corporate offices to Dallas. And we all know that's a sign that they know the dollars are here and they know the talent is here. So I'll give you the top industries right now that's really, growing at an all-time high. So it's IT, of course, healthcare, cybersecurity, transportation logistics, and construction trades. Construction trades, right now they're at 5, but I'm giving 3 years, probably 2 years, they'll be #1. Because the given houses that we have in our city is way behind. We need so many homes right now. And we have a partnership, so many partnerships, but we have a top partnership with FedEx where they're getting to the home building community, where they're trying to not only be a source for delivering packages, they want to be the homes that the packages are delivering to. So we've had a cohort of 40 individuals, Black and brown individuals, that have been in the cohort FedEx. It's a 9-week program. After 9 weeks, they're giving employment with FedEx to start this program. They're starting at 55,000. After the 9 weeks, they build up to 65, and so on. So it's a great program. We have many more to come, but right now, those are the top, I would say, 5 to 6 industries that's going right now.
Okay. We had another question from the chat. You talked about some of the certification programs. Is there a fee for those programs or that training?
Great question. So everything that we do is completely free. Everything. So Workforce Dallas, us being with the city of Dallas, two things where we're really catered to the people of the city. One, being with the city of Dallas, we have no policies and procedures. So our whole thing about impacting is we're paid to get people employed. So we don't have to worry about, long as they live in Dallas County, we can serve them. That's it. You don't have to, how much you get paid, your experience, none of that. Our whole thing is putting people to work. So it's no cost to anything that we do. Everything is completely free. All hiring mixes are free. We're here to truly serve our community.
Hi, Michael. This is Miagra Haynes. I have a quick question. Do you
Absolutely.
do your partners offer senior and executive level positions?
Absolutely, absolutely. So our main resource is top upscale opportunities.
Okay.
That's what we aim for. Now we do have entry level, of course. We are very focused on impacting everyone. When we first started, again, our first set eyes, our first transition was poverty-stricken environments. That was our number one thing. But we grew so quickly. We had so many people reaching out to us saying, "Hey, I need help. I need service." So we grew to now the entire Dallas County, and most of our positions are upscale. That's what most of our employers are looking for. Really coming off the pandemic, we had so many people that were making six figures, but with the pandemic, that it kind of went down and the opportunities went down. That's when we had a huge push from our employer partners that, hey, we need that talent, right? So yeah, so our number one resource right now is upskill opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And Demetrius, let me say this right before I get another question. I want to make sure people understand about our pillars. So, of course, careers. That's number one. Everyone knows that. Again, trainings and certifications. That's number two. But number three is working with other nonprofits and organizations in the community. That's our third pillar, and it's very important because, as you all know, a lot of times people want to do their own thing, and we're the ones that lose out. We want to make sure anyone that's doing great work, I mean, churches, schools, anyone, we want to make sure we're partnering with them because we truly feel everyone is doing great work. But if we work together, man, so many lives can get impacted. So those are our pillars. That's what our set margin is on those three things. And every single day, we know if we complete those three things, man, we'll be a so much better city, and our community will grow in so many ways.
Thank you. So a couple of questions. I think you addressed the one about senior level positions or executive level. And you mentioned you have to be in Dallas County to participate. Is that correct?
Yeah, so yes, that's a big thing right now. But yeah, just for us, we're our Dallas-based organization. So you have to be in Dallas County for us to serve you. Not saying that we can't help you. So currently I've had so many people reach out to us that's outside of Dallas County. So we have so many partners. I never tell anyone no, even if it's a team that wants to work. I never tell them no at all. I always try to find a resource. But for us to work with us, you have to stay in Dallas County.
Okay, another question. As automation and AI change the job landscape, how is Workforce Dallas preparing the workforce for the jobs of the future?
Great question. And I was going to get to that. So let me go around our training partners, and then I'll cover the AR training as well. So currently, right now, we're really focused on certifications and training because we want to make sure when you are given this position, even if the employer doesn't provide, of course they provide training, but we want to make sure that you have some type of training aspect or some type of level of understanding what you're going to do in those roles. So currently our top number of trainings are the PMP certification. That's a huge one. We have a partnership with UT Southwestern, their Navigator Systems training. So basically that is something where it's an AI tool that they use to learn knowledge about everything that's going on at UT Southwestern. So a navigator is that person. They're going to be able to use AI to say, you know, they're going to tell a patient about, hey, they have an HR program that you can learn about, but also you need to learn about everything that's in the hospital as well, or the resources that they give. So that's a program really catered to AI. Cybersecurity certification. That's probably the number one thing that we have right now. Cybersecurity is probably the number one, I would say, employment opportunity probably in the last 2 months. Only because, you know, so many security aspects, people going inside systems, gaining information, gaining data, that has really grew probably in the last year. We have an Omni Hotel Hospitality Management Training, where you become a manager in 6 to 9 weeks. We have the South Dallas Employment Project, where they provide us with the construction aspect I was talking about earlier. And then the AT&T AI Systems Training Certification. So with AT&T and our partnership with them, what they do is any type of community aspect that they have, say they have, you know, an outreach program where they're setting up their tents, or they're setting up on the spot AT&T service, they have individuals that are there to help people on their phones how to use AI, how to come up with, you know, your own resources. If you want to be an entrepreneur, all of that. So they teach you those systems. Probably in the last 5 months, I've seen not a huge push with AI, and I know it's coming probably at the end of this year before it's Workforce Dallas and our partners. It hasn't been a real push of a need currently. So again, we do have those certification and trainings in AI, what I was talking about previously. But when it comes to employers and opportunities, openings, I haven't seen it.
Okay, good. So another question, are there any plans to branch out to other DFW counties? You know,
It
expand in the
is.
Metroplex? Okay.
Correct. It is currently, of course, being the mayor's initiative, we really want to focus on Dallas and the need. It's a whole lot of people that need employment here in Dallas. So many. So we want to make sure we're that number one resource. But again, I do think that's in our future. Just I don't know quite yet when it will be.
Right. Don't have any more in the chat. Anybody have any more questions? Okay. Michael,
Any
anything
more
else for
questions?
you?
All right, yeah, absolutely. So I'll just close with this because I want to make sure. Again, I never want to be the person just show up one time. I think what you all are doing, Demetrius, is phenomenal. So with this partnership, I want to make sure we're here anytime that you need us. So I'll definitely give out my information, my direct. So this is what I do. A lot of people think I'm crazy for doing this, but I feel if we're inclusive to everyone, you have to, because you never know what they're going to. So I give out my direct phone number. That's the quickest way to contact me. LinkedIn, email. As you guys will know right now, it's crazy. So I probably have. I'm not gonna tell you how many myths I have, though. It's a lot. But I'll definitely give out my email address, and please follow Workforce Dallas on Instagram. You can see everything that we have coming. We had 3 events last week, phenomenal events. We had 2 this week. So we're everywhere, and we're really thankful for the city of Dallas and great organizations like you all that really, you know, push out our services. So you want to put it in the chat, Demetrius, or how would you like for me to
Yeah,
do
if
it?
you can put it in the chat.
All right, perfect. And
then
one last
we have
thing.
our newsletter going out tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll put it in. Excuse me, put it in
Got
there
you. So
too.
one last thing. Again, employers, certifications, trainings, careers. That's our focus. But again, a lot of people have barriers, and I haven't really spoke on this yet. We focus on that as well. Barriers are things that keep you from employment. So the top barriers right now could be childcare, huge barrier that's going on, language and transportation. So we have many partners that serve those right now. So childcare, we have partnerships where they provide free childcare. All of these things you can learn on our website, workforcedallas.org. We have transportation partnerships where once you do receive a position or from a company, they will drive you to and from work every single day for absolutely free. And the language barriers, we have so many people that are here to serve any language barrier you have. If you do come to a hiring mixer and you need that, we have that as well. So we serve barriers, very important right now. So we want to make sure, we give everyone everything they need to really provide that trajectory change in employment.
Okay. Don't see anything else for you. So again, just want to appreciate you for all the work that you're doing and the partnership. And, we will continue to promote what you're doing and make sure that we can get you out, hopefully in person, to some of our upcoming meetings too.
Absolutely. I would love that. I can't wait. Let me put this information in real quick. All right, there you go. Again, thank you all so much for having me. Man, outstanding organization. Again, anything you need from us, please let us know. And we'll definitely be in contact very soon.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right, you too.
Okay. Everyone, I want to go around again and see if there are any other questions for me or for the board before I let you all go. Otherwise, I know I have a couple of follow-ups. I appreciate all of you joining today. We are excited about what we have going on for this year. Of course, we are looking for people to join, to get plugged in, get active on our committees, participate in what we're doing. But thank you all for joining this evening. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Happy Black History Month, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, Demetrius.
Yeah, thank you.